heard this phrase a lot when I was entering college, the concept that you are who you surround yourself with. Like, you are the 5 closest people who are around you. And I always thought that was kind of weird. I know something my parents used to harp on me a lot, and I didn't really take it seriously. Not that I was necessarily around bad people by any means whatsoever, but just kind of because I didn't believe it that much, really. And I think that's normal. Like, as kids, we don't really listen to our parents. But as I studied neuroscience, it became very, very increasingly clear that that idea and that concept is very true. It's backed by our biology as kind of a survival mechanism, and I don't think we talk about it enough. And so in this video, I want to explain why it is so crucial that you surround yourself with people who are who you would like to be and who you would like to be around, because surrounding yourselves with the opposite is actually detrimental. And also, I want to talk about how you can kind of manipulate this to get what you want out of life in a way, which is really cool and one of my favorite topics. So let's get into it. So we have these neurons in our brain called mirror neurons. For those of you who don't know what neurons are cells in our brain. We all have so many cells within our body, and a lot of them are specialized, such as eye cells or heart cells. Neurons are specialized cells that are in our brain, our spinal cord, and our nervous system. So we have specialized neurons in our brain, which means they're specialized brain cells in our brain. A little bit confusing, but these are specialized brain cells that mirror the world around us. They're called mirror neurons. Kind of a nice name to go with a semi-complicated topic. I'll break it down though. Mirror neurons do, as what the name says, mirror the world around us. It's that kind of the thing when babies start picking up their parents' mannerisms, and you notice that they're moving their hands in the way that their parents do. And it's not necessarily something that we would call genetic, but they observe their parents doing it and by default do the same. They don't know any better. As we get older, these neurons are still in effect. They're still mirroring the world around us. And a good example is with slang terms. I often don't use slang very often, but my younger brother does. And I have plenty of friends that use slang, and that somehow, even if I don't want it to and I vehemently oppose it, it somehow becomes part of my vocabulary. My brain just adopts it. That's kind of a form of mirror neurons. Mirror neurons mirror the world around you. So with that concept in mind, let's bring that to who we surround ourselves with. If we surround ourselves with people who are not necessarily making the best decisions or are not the best for us, it could be anything, but if there's someone that we would personally not want to be, okay, it's wiser to not be around them, because our brain is going to mirror their habits, it's going to mirror their decision-making skills, it is going to mirror their personality, everything, and you will start acting and behaving like them. I feel like we've all experienced this in our life. We're around someone and we suddenly start adopting their vocabulary, adopting their mannerisms, adopting their decision-making in a way. That's the act of your mirror neurons. And so when you do that in a good situation with people who you would love to be around and people who are inspiring you and making you want to be a better person, that also has the same effect of making you better, because your mirror neurons are going to start mirroring that effect and mirroring that aspect of their decision making, of their vocabulary, of their behavior, whatever it may be, and you'll start seeing that in yourself. I feel like I've seen that within all of my friends. I've had friends, like all of us, who are not necessarily the best for us. And I noticed that I start heading down a path I don't necessarily like. If I take a step back, I notice that's not 100% me. And if I'm around friends who make me better and are more aligned with who I am, I start becoming better by default. It's kind of the most amazing thing, and the best way to manipulate it is it's like manipulating your biology, which is like the coolest thing, because it allows us to just be in control in a way. There's so much of life that's uncontrollable, and we're not in control of a lot of things, but with this, we're somewhat in control of who we get to become, because if we know who we want to be, we can surround ourselves with people who have already done that or who already are that. By doing that, we put ourselves in the almost area and the sphere of people who are doing what we want to do, and our mirror neurons will start mirroring that. And we will start developing whatever it is that we desire, with the things we want from life, because those people have it, and we start mirroring that. It's a really cool way of working with our brain and working with our biology. So for example, if you want to be someone who goes to the gym regularly, you can hang out with people who do end up doing that, because by default you'll have people to go with and they'll be making more gym decisions, or with clothing or whatever, and that may make you more likely to go to the gym. You may find that they'll include you in workouts, and you'll be going to the gym with them. You'll learn more about workouts. You'll be able to do it on your own now, and then suddenly you're someone who goes to the gym regularly. If it's more career oriented and you want to be a newscast anchor, I don't know where that came from, a newscast anchor though, that you can start like LinkedIn messaging people and start meeting people for coffee, or maybe applying for these internships and trying to get in the sphere of these people who have done what you already want to do, because by doing that, your mirror neurons are going to start working and you will start seeing like visible results after some time. And so I think this is one of the most like valuable assets to our biology in creating the world around us and reality and whatever we perceive. But it's not talked about enough, because there's so much that is not in our control, but this little cool subset of our biology kind of is, or at least the way that it works kind of is, because if we surround ourselves with certain people, then the biology does the rest. And I wanted to share that. So yeah, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.